Hey guys, welcome to the live session slash Q&A with Reply. The topic today is staying ahead of the trend with the modern SDR toolset. I'm Nish. I'm here located in Toronto. It's a nice cold day here in Toronto, but it's kind of expected around this time of the year. Just to give you some background, I've been with Reply for about 4.5 years. In the sales capacity, I've been working in the software sales industry for over 10 years. So I have kind of an understanding in terms of what works and what doesn't work and kind of the trends that we're seeing and especially the direction that things are going in. I want to introduce also Oleg, our founder.
Hey everyone, glad to see you here. We're still waiting for people to join. Thanks, Nish. I founded Reply 6 years ago with the goal to automate routine sales tasks. And now I would say we did a lot to find these 6 years to automate many different tasks. And at this day, we're going into a new era where I believe we could go even beyond automation with the ability that AI provides for modern sales reps. And we always research the market. We always research what's happening there, what technologies are available, and try as soon as they appear, embed them into Reply and adapt them into Reply and get really useful, practical feedback or usage out of these technologies. And at the end of closer to the end of this live presentation, I'll show you some of AI features we are currently working on. And I would like to pass a mic to Meshelle.
Thanks, Oleg. I'm Meshelle Hamlet. I've been with the team now for almost 4 years as well as in the sales capacity. Have over 15 years sales experience, mostly in the software space as well. But I've worked for enterprise, startups, inside sales, outside sales, sales management. So I've certainly been exposed to quite a few different sales processes and sales technology stacks. So pretty vast knowledge of what works and what doesn't work as well. And certainly love sharing that insight and some of that experience and knowledge with our prospects and clients. I'd like to pass it over to, William, the head of our SDR team.
Hi, my name is William. I'm actually SDR team leader here at Reply. I've been actually SDRing for more than 5 years. I would say it's pretty unusual case. This is something I really love, and sales development is pretty great topic for me. So yeah, that's about me.
So we can move into our first coverage of our topics that we'll be covering today.
Sure. So just to kind of run down the topics for today, and again, this is interactive. So feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to bring those questions in to make it a little bit more interactive. So we want kind of feedback, questions, anything that you want to get clarity on, feel free to ask the chat, and somebody will be able to kind of bring that to the round table and make it a little bit more interactive. So today's agenda is to kind of cover 3 main topics of interest: 2021 sales and SDR trends and underestimated channels worth employing, especially in sales strategy, inbound and outbound tactics and sequence ideas, as well as AI trends to level up your sales outreach. So the kind of the big question in terms of, especially with this year being pretty wild for all of us and business as well, is kind of how did sales change in 2020? And Meshelle, do you have any insight in regards to what some of those challenges have been, kind of driving that revenue for companies, especially during this time?
Yeah, it's certainly been a wild ride for all of us, I think. And the battle's been trying to stay ahead. We've all experienced a bit of a downturn in sales, especially at the beginning of the pandemic with so much uncertainty. But at the same time, it's been an excellent learning opportunity for most organizations and sales departments, marketing departments. We've had to adapt quite a bit, adjust to the new normal and overcome some of these challenges. So I think a lot of businesses have done well in this space, but then others are falling behind. So I'm hoping that some of these topics that we discuss and some of these trends and insights we can share will help sales teams stay ahead.
Got it. And in terms of kind of the most obvious change, we've seen is the kind of shift to remote work in terms of general and virtual selling specifically. Sales pros have been kind of tailoring their tactics and processes to kind of cater to their audience, and especially in kind of this digital overnight thing that we've had since going remote. That's been more important now than ever. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing is that we can't keep relying on these offline channels that have worked historically well, especially for certain industries that relied heavily on offline sales and door-to-door knocking for real estate agents. You know, a lot of that is gone. Certainly trade shows, networking events. So I think that that's the biggest shift really is online selling.
Yeah, I can imagine. And practically speaking, this whole change was necessary. I believe kind of virtual selling is definitely here to stay. Businesses have managed to kind of successfully shift to this model. It'll only benefit them in the long run.
Yeah, I think there's still a little bit of a downside to that, because there's some sales organizations I think that were already adopting, you know, a lot of online selling tools and tactics. So now that space is going to become, I think, a little bit more saturated. So it's going to be that much more important to find ways to break through that noise, so consumers do see you and you do stand out and differentiate yourself to get their attention.
True. And this kind of leads to kind of the next question in our talk. Considering all the changes that happened this year, what would you say is kind of next for sales engagement in 2021?
Well, I'm really excited to see what comes next. I mean, there's so much out there. And I think that, like I said, it's even that much harder now to differentiate yourself from everyone else in the space, especially since everyone now is going to be shifting to using similar tools and the same channels, the same tactics to drive those engagements. So, you know, I'm not a betting woman, but if I had to put some money on it, I'd say omnichannel is definitely going to be the way to go. Having a multi-pronged approach to getting in front of your prospects is going to certainly outshine any single strategy.
Yeah, good call. And I believe that as well. Especially now with all the noise, it's important to kind of take a fresh approach to stand out and get noticed. Whereas a simple email with just like, you know, hi, first name isn't going to cut it anymore. William, what are your thoughts? I know you're the team leader at Reply and you have a lot of experience with doing email outreach. So chime in and kind of provide some feedback in terms of what your thoughts are.
So yeah, I actually can see a really great trend that there are even more SDR and sales development tools implemented within SDR teams. For example, there are some really great tools for video prospecting, LinkedIn prospecting. For example, you can send video-based emails, or you can even send some personalized LinkedIn voice notes, and all these channels I'm evolving as well, and as you can see, they can be really implemented within even more SDR teams in 2021. And for example, during the very few past weeks, I have received a few personalized LinkedIn voice notes, so it's pretty great. Meshelle, I don't know, have you received any of them? Yeah.
I have seen it. I hadn't heard about it much, but I received one about a week ago, and I was definitely surprised at how well it caught my attention and stood out, because I do get quite a few messages now through LinkedIn, but that one actually did really catch my attention. So I'm curious about that technology. Nish, what about you?
We have a question from Roman Stoliar. He's asking, can you create a demo sales flow that will consist of LinkedIn view, LinkedIn connection request, email follow-up? And the answer, Roman, is yes, we can. We can do view profile, connect request, message on LinkedIn as part of the sales sequence that you set up within Reply. And it kind of goes hand in hand in terms of there's so much potential, especially kind of with LinkedIn. And, you know, US adults are spending more and more time with their messaging apps on their mobile devices than ever before. I know my personal screen time has skyrocketed since March, and I don't think it'll be going down anytime soon, no matter how hard I try.
Yeah, for real. I definitely think it's an amazing opportunity as salespeople now to get in front of people where they are. As much as people check emails, they're inundated, but they're spending a lot more time in their social media, their chat messaging, things like that. Direct messaging, I think, is an untapped arena where we can really get their attention. Is that what you're kind of seeing as a trend is also, William, on the SDR side?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely. And what I really think is a very important part of sales outreach or SDR outreach is that we should not just implement all these like channels, all these touch points within our sequences, but we should also create a great sequence between all these touch points. For example, when you email your prospect and then you call them, you can say something like, hey, I sent you an email before, or when you prospect them on LinkedIn, you can say, hey, I sent you a personal video a few moments ago, or stuff like that. So so that's for sure. I'm pretty sure that multi-channel sequences and will be like priority #1 for SDR teams in 2021.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's really going to be the only way to win going forward. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think, do you think we could actually apply that same approach to every single prospect, though?
Yeah, I do believe that the future of sales and outreach especially is all about relevance and hyper personalization. And that won't happen unless sales and marketing kind of align their efforts. What do you think about that, Meshelle?
Yeah, I'm hoping that, especially in the visual space, social media, that's where sales and marketing can truly align their expertise to be more effective.
What are your thoughts, William?
So I think that that's a nice question. Yeah, for sure. I guess maybe even social selling is growing. For example, there are great examples on LinkedIn, like Gong, Outcross, Thrift. Say they have great social selling projects. And so when it comes to SDRs, just few of us really can build personal brands on LinkedIn, I guess. So that's probably where we could use help of marketing teams.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because we don't, it doesn't necessarily come naturally to all of us. We're not just born with those skills. Marketing really knows social selling and building brand awareness. They know that inside out. Salespeople know how to do the stuff on the sales side, but if you can merge those two, I think teams that will find the best ways to develop some really good, effective video content and grow their social media followers are the ones that are really going to flourish in 2021 and beyond.
Sure, and we can clearly see that more teams are considering this approach, especially for having that one-to-one communication feel, because more people understand that there's automation out there, and they're kind of it doesn't really have the same effect as opposed to a human-to-human interaction. Taking into account the popularity of sales intelligence technology, and this kind of leads to my next question: what is the current role of technology in sales, Meshelle?
Well, as a sales professional, I mean, I could not imagine my life without some of the technologies and tools that I use, particularly in the sales enablement space, just because that allows me to automate my day-to-day activities so that I can scale my efforts, be more effective, and more importantly, shift my focus to more revenue-generating activity, while these tools and softwares can help me, get all that necessary but not necessarily urgent follow-ups done to engage people as much as possible. But I know there's more. There's definitely more out there. And William, would you agree, since you're kind of on the forefront of new trends?
So that's for sure. I actually am a big fan, personally, I'm a big fan of automations. I love automating process and workflows. And I do believe that technology and sales are connected because, for example, there is a rise of no-code automation platforms like Zapier, Airtable, Notion. They all help us to like even non-technical people build automations like really fast, and so that's what I believe can help us. So I guess there are three great points when it comes to technology in sales, like sales enablement, sales automation, and probably sales acceleration, because that's how technology can help boost revenue.
Yeah, true point, William. And I'd like to also note here that automation can not just streamline kind of routine tasks like sending an email or doing a LinkedIn request. You could also use tools like Zapier that are pretty underused in sales, as far as I can see. You could build complex task flows to automate other activities, both whether it's online or offline. And I have several use cases that I'd like to share with you a bit later as well.
Sounds good. Well, what about sales acceleration? We're talking a lot about the automation piece and the enablement, but what about acceleration, Oleg? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Meshelle. I think, again, with acceleration, we could go beyond just simple automation. What acceleration means for me is using the data that we have around sales to really analyze them and make some real useful insights from this data. For example, this could be obvious thing next best action, but there could be as well unobvious things like what the best actions that lead to to the sale. So instead of you being focused on setting up different sequences and workflows, could basically analyze thousands of sales reps, what they do, and set up sequence of emails and touch points for you. That's, I think, what is acceleration is about. And as well with ability to search with this big data and information that we have by each prospect. Before you need to personalize each email you send to every individual. I believe in 5 years that AI will be able to do. They will be able to go and collect all the information by single prospect in your list of 1,000 prospects and personalize each message automatically. That's something that we do manually right now, and that's, I believe, a lot of changes will happen, and we'll have even more automation and acceleration in our day-to-day sales life. And as well, I just want to cover one more question I see came into chat from Erica. I don't want her to wait long. So Erica, thanks for posting question. So the question was, will Reply be able to get the names and emails from LinkedIn events attendees list? And if yes, when? We for January, we have on our roadmap to add support LinkedIn recruiter for. Right now, we support just regular LinkedIn profile. We support Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Recruiter is on our list, and I believe right after that we could jump into this task to basically provide ability to get the names and emails from LinkedIn events. One thing that I'm not sure, that's either if LinkedIn has this feature that will show all these attendees in a public available domain, or in a domain that's in a way that it's visible for other attendees. So this data should be visible first. If it's visible in terms of names, then yes, we can pull it, and yes, we could find emails for it. And I will be looking in probably Q1 2021 to release it. I'll pass mic over to Nish.
So we have a question from John. He's asking, have you found a cutoff, whether it be the company revenue or employee count, where cold emails become an ineffective outreach method, especially when targeting CFOs? John, it really matters, comes down to kind of your sales outreach process and the content that you have within the emails. We find some customers that have 20+% reply rate. They get a 70+% open rate because they have good subject lines and they have content that actually resonates with their end customer, and it answers the question, what's in it for the customer, in a very short, concise way. As long as you do it in that way, you'll still get the effects from cold outreach. Hopefully that answers your question, John. And again, keep the questions coming in. We will kind of facilitate and answer the questions as they come in. Now, to kind of move over in regards to kind of the SMS part, I know we have mentioned SMS and messengers, and I believe there's huge potential for engagement within that space as well. Meshelle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely an underleveraged channel that we need to explore as something for a future. I think that it will vary based on use case. Certainly with people using B2C outreach, they'll find, I think it's really effective and where people are living, again, on their cell phones, right? They're on their screen. So I think it'll be a better way to capture their attention and break through some of the noise. And in other use cases, maybe it's better to wait till maybe the third or fourth touch point to use those types of resources or channels.
I probably will agree with you because we have been experimenting with SMS, WhatsApp messages steps within our inbound sequences, and we noticed that it's great to use them because they boost your reply rates. But what we've noticed, it's better to use them on the back end of your sequence because these channels are quite like personal channels to each person, and they don't want you to break through their SMS or WhatsApp channels. So we use those channels as our last attempt to get in touch with the prospect, to amaze them, maybe even, I would say something like that. Yeah.
And I just would like to add, this depends as well on geography. There's some countries, especially it could be like Europe or Eastern Europe, where a lot of businesses communication we see moving into messenger space. So they're more open to receive messengers, and actually they do business communication with messengers. While we see in North America, it's maybe still not there. They still rely on email, and who knows? And I believe in a few years, most businesses will switch to messengers like everywhere, since I believe it's much better way to communicate than emails, because of many reasons, because of video, because of voice messages. It is.
Yeah, I think that one of the other tactics that seems to be a subject of serious discussion in sales communities is incorporating video outreach, whether it's personalized or not, to have video messages embedded still really will catch the prospect's attention. I actually had a call just the other day with a prospect who was so impressed with our sales process, and he said the most compelling piece was the personal video that had been embedded in the email thanking him for accepting the meeting. So I happened to have my BDR on the call at the time for training purposes. So it was great for her to hear that feedback, but it had a significant impact to the point where he wants to implement it for his own business.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then there's also a growing trend to use direct mail as well, using tools like Sendoso, Reach Desk, where you could have like touch points included in the outreach where you do direct mail. So again, it kind of goes back to everything old is becoming new again. Would you say that's accurate, Meshelle?
Yeah, exactly. I think there's really no approach that should be left off the table. Again, going back to the omni-channel approach is really what's going to work, and you're going to have to cater it to your own prospects and audience and regions, verticals, titles. It all varies. There's tons of variables, but I think that, if you think that a mailer is going to work versus email, then incorporate that in your strategy. But all these great ideas, we want to put them into context and share some hands-on examples of ways to apply some of these trends, some of the things that we're doing internally as well. And we're seeing it work very effectively. So I'll hand it over to William, and hopefully he can show you some of the magic behind Reply.
So yeah, thanks, Meshelle. So when it comes to sales development, and like I really love this topic, I love diving deeper into this topic. And what I've really noticed, and probably the data shows the same, that most SDR teams rely on emails, phone calls, and LinkedIn steps. But there are so many other great channels like SMS, as I mentioned before, SMS, WhatsApp, and there are even a few more I would love to mention probably later. So at this point, I wanted to show how we implement, how we incorporate those other channels into our existing workflows and sequences to have a very smooth transaction between all these channels. So for example, we have one of our inbound sequences here, and first of all, when a new lead comes in, we just send them personalized emails, and we try to call them all the same day. And then if no response over a phone call, we just send them a quick SMS message, something like, hey, this is William from Reply.io. It's in regards to your trial account. And that's it. So no pitches, like just a very short and like warm SMS message, and that's it. And it works for us. And the same when it comes to WhatsApp, but I really encourage you to use those channels on a backend of your sequence. So here's how it works within a reply. So every new prospect that comes into your sequence will get a new task. So you can go to task flow, and here's it. You just get a new SMS for this prospect, and you just can send and complete, and that's it. The next task will appear. And the same when it comes to WhatsApp tasks. We do not pitch them. We do not add like any value prop or call to action. We just want to just talk with them, and that's it. So here's how it works within reply. You just open your WhatsApp message tasks, and you just click send WhatsApp message. So we just grab this data from a message window, and that's it. We will send that message almost automatically, and you just complete the task, and that's it. And the same when it comes to LinkedIn touches. I remember someone asked about, probably Roman, regarding LinkedIn steps. So it's not just enough to add LinkedIn touches within your sequence, but it should be like connected to your previous touches, like emails or phone calls. So, for example, how it works within our sequences, we just connect with them on day 3, because first of all, we want to try other channels like emails, phone calls. So here's how it works within reply. Just click the same button, and that's it. You just connect with your prospect. It will open their LinkedIn profile. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. Okay, I guess I have some issues with my LinkedIn profile. So here's how it works. You just click connect button, and then a connection request is sent automatically. It's the same when it comes to messages and emails. There are a few more great ideas on how to build truly multi-channel sequences. As I mentioned, you can use emails, phone calls, SMS, stuff like that. And there is another channel. We just call it Zapier step, and how it works. Zapier step is, you can think about this just as a regular step within your sequence. For example, is one of our sequences that has Zapier step and a step number 1. So when a new lead comes into the sequence, a Zapier step is triggered, and then reply sends data to Zapier, and based on that event, we can do whatever we want on Zapier side. For example, we can enrich prospect with some additional data points using third-party tools like Clearbit or Uplead or any other channels, and then we will return the data back to reply to step number 1, and that's how we can feed our sequences with additional data points as variables within our sequences. And for example, when we enrich our prospects using Clearbit, we can use additional fields like industry, company name, or technographics, or sub-industry, vertical, or some other channels. So there are lots of other use cases how you can utilize Zapier step, because it really helps you to create really crazy workflows. For example, I think that cross hackers will allow this step because you can, for example, you can add a Zapier step within reply, for example, a step number 3 or 4, and then send data from reply to any third-party platforms like, for example, for direct outreach, or maybe phone calling, or maybe some ads, account-based marketing software, or any other platforms. So yeah, it's really great channel, and I think it can help you to even go further and deeper when it comes to sales development sequences and outreach. I guess that's it on my end.
It's really exciting. I think we have one or two other questions also online, so we can grab those now. Ellen had sent a follow-up question to John's regarding, I guess, going after high-level executives, CEOs, CFOs, whether or not it makes sense, I guess, to go after the gatekeeper or the personal assistants, executive assistants. I think that again, it really varies depending on your sales strategy. But sometimes it is easier to get some information that will help make that a warm entry into the executive. They also have a little bit more time sometimes on their hands to field those questions and salespeople, and hopefully you can say something compelling to engage them so that they will then be your champion to get in front of that executive. I don't know if you have any thoughts to share on that, Nish?
Yeah. You could take a two-prong approach. You could either, just take an approach as if you already are expecting to have that call with the C-level executive and just, bypass the gatekeeper, or you can kind of get the gatekeeper to champion. But keep in mind, gatekeepers are there for a reason. They're there to kind of, limit the amount of time that the executive is having with these sales calls. So you need to be that sales guy that you want to be in front of the C-level executive. So you want to bypass them and go directly to the decision maker. So you need to be that person on the phone and kind of have that authority and voice to back that up. So when the gatekeeper picks up the phone, you just naturally say, is Steven, is John in, and then kind of proceed from there. So it's almost like implied like you're supposed to be calling John when you do call for him. I've done this in the past where I kind of take on that authority and thing, and I get past the gatekeeper doing that. And sometimes gatekeepers that are seasoned, they're smart. Some of the smarter ones, they'll catch on quickly and they'll know the difference. And they'll be able to be like, hey, this is a sales call. And you tell the truth. Yeah, it's a sales call. Looking to get in touch with the individual. What about you, Oleg? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thanks, Nish. I think you covered the most. I really love to hear your stories, how you were bypassing gatekeepers. It's a great point, but I like the ending. Again, if it's someone asks, it's a sales call, you should say yes, sales call. But I do really believe that you would need our solution. So would you mind connecting me or something like that, right? So you should be reasoning that it's sell call, but I believe it's bringing you revenue or bringing you something, and you should not miss that. Since for me, again, I would want to say, like, everyone says cold calling is that, but I think it's old, it's new. Thanks. Once everyone went into emails, right now myself as a CEO, I don't start checking emails less and less, and even LinkedIn messages. But if someone will call me, I will most probably pick up. It will be hard to sell me something from cold calling, but I would say, like, if someone did SMS me or message me on Messenger or even cold call, I probably react to that. So what I want to say here is you need to try a different approach with different audiences. So some CEOs, they may not check their emails. They may have some hidden email mailboxes. Some CEOs may be on Messenger, or CFOs. Some people could be on the phone. So it's an art to find and understand where is your audience hanging out, or what will be the best way to get in touch with them, and experiment with different channels, as William showed.
Yeah, agreed. And what I used to do back in the days as well is I would have a list of contacts that I actually want to call. And when the gatekeeper asked me, like, is he expecting the call? I'm like, I have a note here to give him a call, which is kind of true. I have a note here with his name to give him a call. So there's truth to that. So it kind of gives you a little more confidence when you imply that you are supposed to be reaching out to them. So when the person asks a question, is he expecting a call? But yeah, I have a note here to give him a call. And then they're like, okay, they'll pass it over to you. So, try that out. get creative. It's all about being creative. The more creative you are with your outreach and using tools like sales enablement tools to help with that, it'll just help you get more focused on who it is you want to target. So when you do pick up the phone, ultimately you could be a lot more productive with your kind of talk track.
Okay, let's probably move to the last part that's showing some AI geeky features that I wanted to present. And then maybe we'll get to some questions after my part. Let me share my screen. William, could you please finish your share so I can share, or just pass the host to me?
I stopped sharing my screen actually.
Okay, yeah, let's see. Technology. Okay, maybe we'll answer to the question. See, I still see share button is not appearing for me. Maybe we'll take some time. So let's see the next question. Nish, maybe can you answer this next question we have?
Yeah, so we have a question from Stephanie Blazovic. Hopefully I didn't kill your name, Stephanie. How can I track if someone opens my email and 1 week later goes on the website? Can I then retarget them via email again that way? If so, how could I go about this? Now, in regards to seeing if someone opens your email, you can actually do that within Replies campaign. We have a way to track all the outgoing emails. So if someone opens the email, but not just open the email, but how many times they've reopened and viewed that email multiple times can be tracked. So you have stats like opens, replied, and when you go into the all-time tab, this actually enables you to figure out all the opens contacts. And then there's a filter where you can go and say, show me all the contacts that viewed my email, let's say 5 or more times, and has not responded yet. So now, when you get that list of contacts, you have a highly engaged list of prospects. So when you do pick up that phone and make that call, you're going to be talking to someone that's like maybe even expecting your call. They're like, you know what? I was actually speaking to Steve about this email that I got from you, a few days ago, and I'm glad you called. So now it just transitions over to a lot more warmer call as opposed to a pure play cold call. Hopefully that answers your question.
I think you could also use link tracking. So if you had, insight that they've clicked on the link and gone to your website just from the email automation tool, such as Reply, or a link to a specific landing page, you can also obviously leverage that and consider that part of your filtering to identify really warm targeted leads to re-nurture.
Yeah. It's all about kind of figuring out ways to kind of get in front of the right customers, and that's how utilizing the stats and analytics will help you kind of get in front of the right customers. I think Oleg is ready to kind of present the
There is one more question from Sebastian, and he asking, how would you approach recycling contacts, and what are the challenges when your prospect database is 2K companies? How would you approach recycling contacts? So basically, as an SDR, we have been recycling our contacts lots of times, and what we're really trying to do is another separate sequence for this purpose. And what we do is we use completely new subject lines, complete links with new call to actions, and we usually try to prospects that have never been opening our emails within the program. So probably this approach will work for you as well. That's how we can get like a few more opportunities each month. So that's probably the easiest way to do that.
Okay, thanks, Will.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Oleg.
No, Meshelle, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and that's where filtering also comes in really handy, right? Is having the right reporting and analytics to understand who it is that you should be retargeting, as opposed to just spraying and praying, as they say. There's definitely leads that are more qualified that you could be spending more time on re-nurturing.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Oleg.
Thanks, Meshelle, and thanks, William, for covering this question. So hopefully you're able to see my screen now. And I'm going to show you some feature that we are working right now. And there is 2 parts of the demo I will be showing. First, I'll show what we do, and then I'll try to show it. I don't know how many of you heard about GPT-3, but GPT-3, it's a new technology developed by OpenAI. One of the founders of OpenAI is Elon Musk. So OpenAI is an organization that basically develop AI technology and support developing AI technologies, and do it in an open manner, and make AI technologies available to public publicly. So the goal here is to make AI that will be owned not by some corporation, but will be publicly available for any company. And they recently released GPT-3, which is algorithm to generate human-like text. They trained this algorithm based on 400 gigabytes of text. And what is amazing, that's or even was shocking for me, that this GPT-3 algorithm can generate text that looks like it's been written by real human being. And sometimes we've seen the text that's been generated with the text that was written, it seems like it's been written by some professional writer. So it's fascinating how it's worked. And I'll try to quickly show you how we see this could be useful for sales reps, and how we could use it on practice in reply and in different sales workflows. I just want to mention again, it's one thing is AI is everyone is talking about AI is like theory. Another one in how we could get practical result from this AI. And before, we've seen before in reply, we have many things like our algorithm to improve emails, and there's some AI features here as well, or our algorithm to sort leads. And now there's two ways right now, but actually it's much more ways how we to improve to kind of help sales reps. And but the main one that I want to cover today, that's something that we start, is first one is improving existing email copy, and second one is generating follow-ups emails. So we see GPT-3 could help you improve your existing copy of email, and as well it could help you generate follow-up emails based on your initial email. And third one is could basically help you generate shorter messages of your emails, let's say. And it will be super useful where you could create a task, hey, create 160 characters version of this email, and AI will actually create a short version of this email. And that could be used with LinkedIn or SMS. I don't know if you will be able to see on my screen the real text. Is maybe, I'm not sure, it may be hard to read, but hopefully you will be able to do this. And so basically here is the text of email. I click here button improve with GPT-3, and it should improve the email. One disclaimer I want to put in place, since GPT-3 not always generates the best text. Sometimes it's just generate nonsense. So I think usually I need to click improve with GPT-3 button a few times before it generates some real results. So I'll click one. It could be I click once, nonsense. So you just be prepared for that. But then we'll get into the real like better results. Let's see. GPT-3 is working and taking some time. And this is original email we send, and now AI is trying to improve it. Okay, now we don't see a good improvement. So what I'll do, I'll just probably move over here, and this is our playground. We find basically this is a playground for our API, and we were able to make playground work much better for us than we made it in reply. But this is basically just a technical issue, and we'll have it working in reply. There's more chances this one will work better. So let's try. So we have email. I'll try submit and see how it will prove existed email. Yeah, so basically it's in this case it's overridden it and made it a bit shorter, I would say. Let's see. So let's try once again. Maybe I'll try a few times. So there was some really brilliant variants the AI was given to me. Okay, that's not bad. My colleague told me you were interested in our sales. That's really good. That's really good opener, and was blowing my mind as there's nothing like that was said in email. Email was starting with, I was thinking about reaching out to Steve and blah, blah, blah. And here AI analyzed email and thought, okay, maybe we'll try this line. My colleague told me you were interested in our sales automation software, and then we help companies automate their sales process as well. Again, we didn't see anywhere this line is basically was generated by AI based on this text, and it's just mind blowing. And be in your area for a conference. Okay, now suggesting conference, etc. Okay, not bad. I'll show you another example how it's basically can generate a follow-up. So basically I have the same email, then I started another one. Hi, John, just to follow up on email I sent recently and put comma. So what AI will do, it could use the context in this email to a bit kind of, to summarize it, the reason of follow-up. And I'll click here. Okay, it didn't work well. First, I see already you could see some mistake at the bottom this time. Okay, not bad. So it said, let's schedule a 50-minute call to discuss how our sales engagement platform could help you optimize your team's productivity. I look forward to speaking. I think that's brilliant, and that will save a lot of generating the manual follow-ups. And what I see will be happening in future, that first part, you will just need to provide us with one text of email, and AI will suggest you different follow-ups and suggest you LinkedIn and SMS messages you could send. So you don't need to like write the same message in your SMS or like LinkedIn. AI will do it for you. And next step, what we'll do, you will not need to give us any text at all, and we'll generate the text for you based on knowing information about your company. So, for example, through Clearbit API, there is information about most of the companies, right? So we know what's your company do, based on what's your company do, and based on what's prospective company do. So we could get this information as well. We could generate like an email that will suggest based on what you do and based on what their company do, email proposal will be basically generated. So I think that will be in few kind of steps done, but I believe with this, I'm very excited about this OpenAI and GPT-3 algorithm, since it's getting our vision a bit closer. So right now, what we do with Reply, we automate communications, and I believe in future, there will be AI that will be doing most of communications instead of like sales rep doing this communication. So say it in other words, in future, companies will be talking to customers through AI or bots more than they talk through real people. On this note, I want to pass the mic to Nish, and we still have 10 more minutes left. If we have some questions, we could. We will be happy to answer them.
You're muted.
Muted.
Yeah, it's kind of scary what AI can do, but I'm a sales guy that likes to talk to other human beings, so I always feel like there's always going to be a human-to-human interaction when it comes to sales capacity, because I know the second you call a company as an automated message, the first thing I do is hit 0. That's my first go-to thing. So I feel AI is going to ideally help kind of the sales rep make their lives a lot more easier and do some of the mundane tasks that they don't feel like they should do. AI will be able to kind of automate that. And that way, ultimately, the ultimate goal is to be like, hey, Steve at ABC company comes into his day, opens up his laptop, and he sees like meetings booked up for the entire day. That's the ideal kind of situation for a sales rep, to be able to utilize an AI technology that kind of says, hey, listen, here's your day, Steve. Go ahead and make the calls and just spend time customer facing, talking to people, human-to-human interaction, and kind of leveraging AI to kind of help automate some of the stuff that the reps don't really want to do, but it's part of the sales process and important to get the deal to ultimately close. Would you agree with that, Meshelle?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the role of technology is more to help us streamline our workflow, scale our efforts, be more effective, be more efficient, learn from mistakes. And as human beings, of course, we can do so much, but we only have a certain amount of bandwidth. And I'd certainly, me personally, would rather spend my entire day speaking to people and closing deals than trying to chase people who may or may not want to speak to me. So having AI be able to accelerate my efforts by telling me what I've done well, what I haven't done well, or what my team has done well, and share that knowledge across the team and leverage it using analytics or even tools like this where it can help me write better copyright. My background's not in copyright, right? And I'm not from marketing. So it's nice having these types of tools, but knowing that there's so much more exciting stuff coming down the road as well.
Yeah. Anybody else has any kind of insight regarding that, William?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing as well. Jack says AI will automate the initial contact and get the prospect into a call with you. Exactly, you nailed it. So yeah. This was we try to do with reply. So right now we basically automating more and more, and hopefully in future our SDR team or sales team will be spending time only on calls, on talking to other people what they're best at, and basically AI could help setting up everything. And I believe even in further future, there will be a way where a lot of deals and a lot of communication will be happening between AI from both sides, especially if it's B2B, and human will be only looped in when some big decisions are needed, or when AI can't, when AI really need help. William, what's your thoughts?
I am a very first beta tester of that feature at Reply, and the thing is that I have actually spent more than 5 years like crafting perfect email templates that will resonate with our buyer persona. It's really hard to create templates. If I have an assistant or an AI that will help me from day one to generate great templates, like my value call to action, because it's this feature for more than one for a few weeks from now, and impressed with what great call to actions the AI can come up. I was really impressed. Call to actions are even better. So it's really great, I believe, opportunity for entry level as to be productive from day one. It's a really great feature.
Yeah, it looks like we have a question from Richard Cassidy as well. He's asking what new features on Reply have you introduced recently, any specifically relating to LinkedIn? Thanks for the question, Richard. And we do have LinkedIn, it's semi-automated. And the reason why we kind of did it semi-automated is because LinkedIn is coming down hard on those accounts that are doing like purely automated outreach. So we said, you know what, we don't want to put our customers at risk of getting their LinkedIn account shut down. So let's do it semi-automated. So where all you need to do is click a button, it opens up the contact's LinkedIn profile, pre-populates that custom message that you could have using custom fields. And when that person gets that template request, they'll get a kind of a nice customized template message in that ad request. So all you have to do is just click connect, send, connect, send. Ultimately, we'll just get to a point where you just literally click a button and you can just go through those LinkedIn connect requests. And the same thing applies for the LinkedIn mail or LinkedIn message. It's a button you press, it opens up the contact's profile, pre-populates that message with that custom message you have in that step. And then it's up to you to personalize it a little bit further, which I recommend to, again, improve your conversion rate. How have you been kind of presenting that, Meshelle?
Yeah, same way. Definitely incorporating it throughout the process. Again, not limiting yourself to LinkedIn touch points, but some audiences are going to be desensitized to email. To Oleg's point, it's great to hear from a founder and CEO what he does respond to, and email is certainly not one of them. That's at the bottom of his list. So taking a multi-pronged approach and sending an email followed up by connection request, to William's point, making reference to that connection request in your follow-up email, it just keeps getting you one step closer and warmer, so that when you do finally engage them, whether it be through the in-mail message or through a phone call or an SMS, there's already some name recognition there. It's a bit warmer. They know why you're reaching out. You can tell by their engagement with your emails whether or not there's even interest. If they've opened, 3 of 3 emails and viewed them over 10 times, there's definitely a little bit of interest there, or at least you've said something that's resonating with them. The other piece of the LinkedIn that I don't think we covered too much of today, but in case, I guess, Richard hasn't seen it, there is also the option in that Chrome extension to pull email accounts directly from LinkedIn contacts, or even lists of prospects that you have in there, to be able to add them to that type of multi-channel sequence.
Yeah, that's a big selling point as well, especially having kind of a unified platform that does the actual lead generation, where you can actually pull real-time contact details from lists that you generate on LinkedIn. So it kind of gives you that comfort level knowing that most LinkedIn users keep their LinkedIn profiles up to date. And the beauty with the Chrome extension is that it only returns verified emails. So for example, if I go on Microsoft and I see Steve, Bill, and Bob, it'll ping the server with different variations of first name, last name. And once the server says it's a match, it returns the verified email, steve.bobs@microsoft.com, and then it goes to the next person on the list, and it does the entire list of contacts in bulk. So this way, you don't have to do any type of manual finding of emails, or go online or guess the email. It's all done using Reply's Chrome extension. And once you get those contacts, you can then add them directly to a reply sequence right from the Chrome extension. So it just makes things a little bit more easier to kind of get the leads and put them into a multi-channel sequence. Now, Oleg, in terms of Reply, I've been here for 4.5 years, and kind of the big question that I found that the product has always revolved around is, what can we do? How can we build a product that helps the sales rep do their jobs a lot more easier? So would you say that that's kind of the question that we kind of built Reply, and that's kind of the question that we're using to kind of help build Reply and take that feedback back? What's your thoughts, Oleg?
Yeah, I think that's our main purpose for the Reply, to make a job of sales reps much more easier, much more effective, and I would say a few times more productive than they would do it that task manually. And I would say, again, when I started Reply, I even haven't thought about many possibilities. It's all started just with some small automation from follow-ups, and then we went to different channels, and now we see all the possibilities with AI and with analytics that is there. So I would say it's a lot. So basically, I believe that's already technology will define who will win competition and who will lose. So basically, if before it was something like let's say there's 2 companies, and maybe one company have some IP or some better team, and the second company don't have. Right now, it's still matter, but I think we have a new parameter which technologies are one company utilize. So and I believe business of the future is the battle of technologies. Who will be using what technologies? Who will be adapting them better? So I believe, again, and the Reply and systems that we have is becoming not only just some automation part. We become a major kind of part of businesses, or just different parts of businesses that help them accelerate and win the competition. And we've seen as well on our market, there's a lot of different tools appear all the time, and there's all the time development. So for the Reply, we don't plan to stop, and I believe only way to companies to sustain future is continuously changing. I believe there soon will be very few businesses that could claim that they do passive income. Most of businesses, they will either change, develop, or they will go out of market. That's why in Reply, we are constantly reinvesting our resources in adding and improving new features, and being on the market, with market, and adapting and changing as market change. And and we believe by doing this as well, we bring to our, not only we make our platform up to date, but we bring these new possibilities to our users, and that's what they would expect from platform like Reply.
Yeah, absolutely. We have like 1 minute left in the live session. It doesn't seem like there's any questions left over. Any final thoughts that you guys want to share, with the attendees? William, Meshelle.
Just thanks so much for joining, taking time out of your busy day. Reply, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Oleg, but I think for the most part, the business is built on user feedback. Our roadmap is developed on user feedback. We really cherish, sales reps sharing their ideas on what features they would like and what they think would streamline things. So we actually do make that pretty transparent right in the application. When you click on roadmap, you can see what features we're working on, what stage they're at. So just keep sharing all that wonderful feedback and comments, requests, questions. That's what we're here for.
Perfect. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up the live Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly to either myself or Meshelle. Our emails, my email is nish@reply.io, and Michelle's email is michelle@reply.io as well. And we'll kind of facilitate any questions you have regarding Reply. So yeah, Oleg, any final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining the call. I would like to answer the last question I see. Add customizable pictures in the future. Yes, we plan to do that, but customized pictures is very hard. That's why we've been working with our partners that already have this functionality, and they currently building integration with us. So we plan to have customized pictures. Thanks again for joining the call. Thanks for your time. Hopefully that was useful for you, and we'll keep building and improving Reply to help you do your sales 10 times better.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks
you,
again, guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Goodbye.